This is a scary story from Africa. The Merchant Who Sold His Shadow, an original Moroccan horror folk tale inspired by Amazigh and Arab traditions. In the forgotten bends of the Moroccan Anti-Atlas Mountains, where the sand shifts like whispering tongues and the wind carries stories older than time, there lived a merchant, a man who traded spices by day and darkness by night. His name was Moulay Haroun, a name uttered with respect in the bustling market of Tazmud, a small Amazigh village nestled between rocky cliffs and dry riverbeds. Haroun wasn't like other men. He traveled far across the dunes of Zagora, the alleyways of Fez and the souk of Mar. He brought rare wares, saffron that burned like fire, amber that smelled of forgotten tombs, and silks that shimmered like water in a mirage. But what intrigued the villagers the most was not what Haroun brought back. It was what he never cast, a shadow. No matter how fierce the sun beat down on his wares, or how high he stood over the village square, Haroun's feet met no companion on the ground. Some whispered that he was cursed. Others said he had tricked a G. Children ran from him and old women spat when he passed. But Haroun, he only smiled. One night under the red moon of Haroun sat in the tea house of old Sheikh, a blind man known for reciting stories of El-Alil, the sacred chants of the Aman. You carry the scent of the dead. Haroun, the Sheikh rasped, his voice like grinding stones. Where do your goods come from? From where the sun does not rise and the sand swallows names. You speak in riddles, the Sheikh countered. Are you hiding something? Haroun looked at the rough hands that clutched his cup, hands that knew every fold of every map in Morocco, every twist of every path in the desert. I do fear the truth, Sheikh, he admitted, his voice soft but controlled. For if people knew what I trade, they would call me a liar, madman, or worse. Haroun left before dawn, leaving behind the smell of wood smoke and mint. Only the faintest trace of myrrh lingered in the air, a hint of his secret cargo. But that night a young man named Youssef, orphaned and poor, followed him. Youssef had heard that Haroun possessed a secret, that he once stood before an Afrit and made a pact, a bargain that let him stand in sunlight without a shadow. He traded something no man should ever lose in exchange for immeasurable wealth. So Youssef risked everything to uncover the truth, determined to save his friend's soul or take his secrets to the grave. Youssef followed Haroun for days until the merchant stopped in front of a house at the edge of town, built with red clay and bones of unknown beasts. Villagers avoided the house, believing it to be cursed. When Youssef returned at night, he noticed a faint orange glow coming from inside. Peering through a window, he saw Haroun kneeling before a black mirror propped against the wall. It wasn't glass, but a sheet of obsidian, slick with what looked like oil or blood. Haroun didn't seem to notice Youssef watching. He spoke in Tafina, the ancient script of the Aman. Great Lord, I am here again before you. I bring offerings of saffron and amber. Listen to my plea. Then the mirror answered in a voice that scraped like nails on stone. You wish for more. You have no shadow to barter again. Then tell me what else I must do. Great Lord, what is most dear to a man? What lingers after death? What cannot lie? My soul, Haroun whispered. The mirror hissed. A worthy offering, but it is mine already. Then ask for something else. Anything. My life, perhaps. Such eagerness amuses me. Very well, I shall take your life. But first, I shall take what I desire most from those you care for. Your friends and family will suffer before you join me. Is that not a fitting prize? Please, anything but that. Great Lord, I beg of you. Very well. What do you offer then? My shadow, my lord. Always with me. Never seen my shadow. So be it. Your shadow is mine and the souls of those who fear it. Now go. Spread your darkness in the world. Gather those pure of heart and strong of will. I shall claim them one by one. Haroun collapsed to his knees, tears streaming down his face. Then he fled into the night. The next morning Youssef was gone. Villagers searched, but found only a trail of footprints leading toward Iminif, the mouth of the cave, a place feared for centuries. It was said to be home to a Jinness, a spirit woman whose voice lured men into the rocks, never to return. The cave gaped open like a hungry beast, its dark mouth reeking of sulfur and despair, and at the opening stood a stone slab bearing strange symbols. Youssef touched the carvings and stepped into the cave. Then the rock slab moved silently behind him, sealing the entrance. Inside the cave, Haroun stood again before the mirror, but this time, something was wrong. The obsidian quivered. Smoke rose from its edges. Suddenly, the mirror shattered and, from within, a storm of shadows poured out. They surged around Haroun, coiling around his legs, reaching for his face. Then, from the swarm, Youssef's voice cried out, distant and echoing. He gave me to her. Tell them, don't trust the man with no shadow. A towering figure wreathed in darkness emerged from the cave, her eyes burning like coals. She reached out and Youssef screamed as he vanished into the shadows. Haroun stumbled back. More villagers arrived, drawn by the commotion. They stared in horror at the sight before them. The cave, now spewing thick black smoke, loomed over them, alive with whispers and wails. The shadows swirled, forming ghastly shapes that reached for the villagers. dragging them toward the cave. Screams filled the air as more and more villagers fell victim to the unseen force. Harun watched in despair as his friends and neighbors vanished. Then he understood. He had traded away not just his shadow, but their souls, too. Driven by guilt and fear, Harun turned and fled. He ran until his lungs burned and his feet were raw, until he could outrun the whispers of the dam no longer. Collapsed in a dried riverbed, he stared up at the merciless sun. For the first time, he saw not a blazing furnace, but a kind and judging eye. The sun that warmed the earth also judged him for betraying its gift. When the villagers looked for Harun, they found only his clothes. A single sandal lay beside his empty house. Some said Harun walked the earth cursed, doomed to wander forever with no shadow and no rest. Others said he perished in the desert, swallowed by the dunes and the wind. But all agreed it was his greed that led to his undoing. Today, in Tazmah, they say that when the wind blows from the south, carrying desert heat and the scent of forgotten spices, you can see a man walking alone at dusk. He walks like Harun, he smiles like Harun, but he still casts no shadow. And children, if you ever see him in the market, don't follow him, don't listen to his voice, and never trade anything for more than what you need. Because in Morocco, the shadow is more than light's twin. It is your soul, and once sold, it never returns.